Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. It is dinner time in our house and I thought I would bring you along while I made it. Last week when I mentioned we were having this in my menu planning video, there was a lot of interest in it and several of you had asked me to do a cook with me, so I will be happy to oblige. So we are making Mexican street corn chowder tonight. I generally do not make soup in the summer because Doug's not a big fan of soup in the summer. But I really wanted to make this because I wanted to make it with fresh Jersey corn. So it is what it is. Forget what I was going to say now. Something about this recipe. I don't remember. So I am going to turn you around, show you the ingredients we're going to be using, the main ingredients. There's also like water and there's some additional like add-ons that you can do, but I'm gonna show you the main ingredients and then we're gonna get started. Okay, for our soup, we're going to need 10 ears of corn. Now you could also use frozen corn if it's not summertime. I'll have to figure that out because you need the milk from the cob too, so we'll figure that out. 2 small green peppers, and then it calls for a jalapeno. I don't really like jalapenos, so I am using a Cubanelle in place. 1 lime, a medium-sized onion, 6 pieces of center-cut bacon, some fat-free half and half, and then it calls for cumin and salt and chipotle powder. But I have this Trader Joe's everything but the elote seasoning blend, and everything's in it. So I'm going to choose to use that today instead of all the other ones. I will have both on the website on the recipe though, so you can do it whichever you prefer. So we also, like I said, need some water and there's some additional add-ons, but we'll get to those later. Let's get started on the soup. So the first step is removing all the corn from the cobs. I did the first 9, and I'll just do one on camera. Just take a nice sharp knife, or they have gadgets that you can do this with, but I don't know. I just think a knife is quicker and easier. It makes a bit of a mess. And then you're gonna hang on to those cobs because we have to milk the cobs. As crazy as that sounds. Okay, so we have all of our corn set aside. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cob, I'm gonna put it in a bowl and just use the back of a butter knife and just scrape it to get all the corn juice or corn milk out of it. Now I'm also getting pulp. So honestly, I've never made this, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. If I'm gonna strain it, I have to see how much milk we get. And all that's gonna do is add extra flavor. So I might leave the pulp in there, I don't know yet. You'll be the first to know. So I'm gonna go finish up these and then we'll show you what we do next. Okay, so I have all of the milk juice. I put it in a strainer over a measuring cup and I'm just kind of pressing it all out. This made a huge mess, as you can see from the counter. I probably should have cleaned it up, but you know me, hot mess express. So I am just, doesn't give you very much. So once I push all this out of here, I'm going to add water to equal 2 cups. But I'm going to try to get as much out as I possibly can just to add more flavor to the soup. And like I said, we'll add water till we hit 2 cups. We're gonna move on to the next step, which is getting the bacon cooking. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, I have my Dutch oven preheated, and I'm just gonna throw in 6 pieces of center cut bacon and cook that crisp. I'm just gonna kind of toss it in there. I'm not worrying about having perfectly straight pieces of bacon because we're going to be chopping it up anyway. So I'm gonna let that cook until it's nice and crisp. We're gonna remove it from the pan and reserve some of the drippings. While this is cooking, I'm going to go back and chop up the peppers and the onions. Okay, so the bacon is done. I'm just gonna take it out and drain it. And then we need 2 tablespoons worth of the bacon drippings. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put those into a bowl and then measure them back into the pan. But I'm gonna do that off camera because I don't wanna hurt myself. Okay, so I measured back in 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. There were about 3 tablespoons total. And now I'm just gonna add in my onion, my 2 green peppers, and what should be a jalapeno, but I told you I substitute it. Now I'm going to just saute these until they are soft and translucent, probably for about 5 minutes. Okay, so that's been going for about 4 minutes. Now I'm gonna take our seasoning and I'm gonna add, I guess, about 2 tablespoons. Like I said, the way the original recipe was written, I got this out of a Taste of Home magazine. They use cumin and all that, but I just figured I'm taking a shortcut. So I'm gonna go 2 tablespoons. I can always adjust at the end. And I'm gonna just let that cook for another minute. Okay, now I'm gonna add in our corn. Give that a good stir. Smells really good. And then we're going to add in our cob juice and water. Give it a really good stir. Now we're going to bring the mixture up to a nice simmer, and we're going to let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes until the corn is tender and cooked. And then we'll come back and finish it off. So I'm going to crank it up to high, and as soon as it comes to a nice simmer, I'm going to turn it back down and I'm going to partially cover it. Okay, so this has been simmering for about 25 minutes. So what we need to do is add in the juice and zest of 1 lime. And then I'm going to turn it off. And then 1 cup of fat-free half and half. And at this point, you could keep it just like this. I am choosing to blend it a little bit, make it more soupy, more chowdery. Not so chunky. So I am going to just use my hand blender or immersion blender, whatever you call it. And I want some corn still left in there. I don't want it completely decimated. Now, you know I like things thick. We've had this discussion a million times. To me, a chowder is supposed to be a little on the thick side. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to throw a little cornstarch slurry in. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I probably will. Doug's looking at it trying to decide if he wants me to or not.
I think it looks decently thick, but it's hard to tell.
You want me to leave it just like this then?
It's your call.
Oh, thanks. You know what? I think he's right. I think we're going to leave it just like this. Shocking, I know. So this makes about 8 cups. A serving size is 1 cup. On the blue plan and the purple plan, it is 1 point for a cup. On the green plan, you're getting dinged on the corn, green plan friends. It's 5 points for a cup. So then you can top it. Oh, I forgot. Bacon. Now, it says to garnish with it. I think it'll be better in it. So I'm putting it in it. Now, when I serve this up, you can garnish it however you want. A little chopped cilantro, a lime wedge, some cajote cheese. That's what we're gonna choose to do. So I'm gonna plate this up, bowl it up, and show you what it looks like. So here it is in the bowl. This is 1 cup, but at such a low point, you can always go back for seconds. And I have 1/8 of an ounce of the cajote cheese on there. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And 1/8 of an ounce is 0 points. So if you have 2 bowls and have a little bit more on there, then you're going to have to charge a point for the cheese. But 1/8 of an ounce is 0. So I have a 1 point bowl of soup for dinner. Well, my friends, that is it for this Cook With Me. I will tell you, it was delicious. We really, really enjoyed it. A little bit of kick to it, and I think that was because of the seasoning I used. If you choose to use all the separate seasonings, you could cut back a little bit on the chipotle powder, but I really I liked it. And you know I'm a spice wimp, and I really enjoyed that little bit of kick. So definitely we'll be making this again. I think the boys will really like it. And I'm really glad I did use the immersion blender a little bit to break it up, because there were still chunks of corn, but it was chowdery, if that makes sense. But yeah, so definitely if you think you like Mexican street corn, or you know you like Mexican street corn, definitely give it a try, because it tasted like Mexican street corn in a bowl. So got a thumbs up from Doug and a thumbs up from me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click on that subscribe button.